No, they use Allah, what to buy the key people. Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. No, they use Allah, what to buy the key people. Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. Salam alaikum, alaikum, assalami. Salam alaikum, say na peace na we want. But no be Muslim, it's not a Christian. And we there for Bible, make we kill ourselves. Salam alaikum, alaikum, assalami. Salam alaikum, say na peace na we want. But no be Christian, it's not a Muslim. And we there for Quran, make we bump ourselves. They come from Shad, they want on with terrorists. Come from Niger, they want on with terrorists. Every day by day, them are bombing our schools, killing our youth, say we know they happy. No, they use Allah, what could they keep people? Allah is great, you know they keep saying. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is great, you know they keep saying. No, they use Allah, what could they keep people? Allah is great, you know they keep saying. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is great, you know they keep saying. Prophet Muhammad is the road to Allah. Prophet Muhammad no they give for Allah. In the preach peace to the unbelievers, change your ways and turn to Allah. Prophet Muhammad is the road to Allah. Prophet Muhammad no they give for Allah. In the preach peace to the unbelievers, they can change our ways and turn to Allah. The wages of sin, say my brother na death. The wages of sin, say my sister na death. Eventually repent and have eternal life. Make you bring back our guests, now we know they happy. No, they use Allah, what could they keep people? Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. No, they use Allah, what could they keep people? Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. No, they use Allah, what could they keep people? Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. No, they use Allah, what could they keep people? Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. Prophet Muhammad is the road to Allah. Prophet Muhammad no they give for Allah. In the preach peace to the unbelievers, they can change our ways and turn to Allah. The wages of sin, say my brother na death. The wages of sin, say my sister na death. Eventually repent and have eternal life. Make you bring back our guests, now we know they happy. No, they use Allah, what could they keep people? Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. No, they use Allah, what could they keep people? Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. No, they use Allah, what could they keep people? Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. No, they use Allah, what could they keep people? Allah is great, yo, they keep saying. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is great, yo, they keep saying.
Okay, welcome my people. Welcome. My name is Temitope Olodo and I'm counter-terrorism consultant, author, and president of African Security Forum. Let me start by wishing my fellow Nigerians, Democracy Day. As you know, the president has spoken and he's spoken well. He's expressed, his concern, his sympathy with those that have lost their life. And we know that as Mr. President was delivering a speech, some students from the Polytechnic in what do you call it, Zaria now, which is in Kaduna State, are still in captivity. And there are people that are being adopted on a daily basis across Nigeria. So it's not, it's a serious issue that requires serious attention. And since this is my field, and normally I bring people to talk, I don't normally talk. My job is normally to, ask people to give their views and challenge them and ask questions about it. But I just felt, today let me actually, say one or two things about what is going on in Nigeria. Let me give my views. Let people at least understand my perspective about this issue. Because of course, as you all know, I'm an author, I've written 8 books, and I've written about school security. And I'll be talking about school security today because I just felt parents need to know, they need to be, educated, lectured, if that is the right word, about the things that they need to really do in the area of school security. And there are some very simple things that we could do that doesn't need a lot of scientific, brainstorming approach. There's very simple ABC that I call it idiot guide that we could put in place to ensure safety and security of our children. Because when kids are, adopted, brutalized, and they don't return normal. And I think that is another area that I'm going to be talking about because I've actually written a book about it and I will be more or less talking about it. But I just felt let me show you one or two videos to set a preset about what we're going to be talking about. Let me, for example, talk about the ways in which the government in Nigeria are looking at dealing with this issue.
These dogs might look local, but they have a sensory receptors of over 300 million compared to that of human beings' sense of smell. Hence, can detect unusual smell 20 kilometers away.
You see, ducks or dog, being what they are animals, and by their nature and built-in capacity or mechanism, I think, and by their performance worldwide. So this is to say they can smell far away than human beings, especially objects and persons.
Globally, dogs are used for different purposes. With the ever-increasing number of attacks by armed bandits, especially in government boarding schools in Katsina, forced the government to close down all schools in the state. Recently, the Katsina state government reopened schools and deployed dogs in government boarding schools as part of security measures to complement other security strategies adopted to protect schools in the state from bandits' attack. The question in the minds of Katsina residents are, what type of dogs were deployed? Were they trained to serve the purpose for which they were deployed? At what cost?
Were these dogs trained for this particular purpose, or do you have the intention of training them after now that you have deployed them?
What many people don't understand, when something is in it, you are born with it. It's part and parcel of you. That is why we look at physiology. So whether a dog is trained or not, it has the powers to do what we want it to do. But if you have particular training for particular thing you want dog to do, you can as well enhance the dog. But the upper nerves receptors are already inbuilt in dogs, and they can be able to smell odds among evil. They can be able to smell objects, they can be able to persons far away from. That's the most important thing we want them to do for now. We are not saying they should go and fight the bandits, no. Don't mistake us that they are fighting that, no. They are alerting. So
While the government sees the deployment of dogs as a complementary solution to enhancing security around schools, public affairs analyst and security expert Njuma Katsina said the solution is dead on arrival.
The initiative is supposed to be a secret, confidential, and something should be very guided by only the student, the school, and maybe some few individuals who are coordinating the program. The newspapers, the media, radio houses to carry out the information to go wild, to be trending. Very unfortunate. So we can say that now the initiative is already dead on arrival.
Dead on arrival is what that is. That security consultant said that they're using local dogs. I don't know if they are trained or not. I'll leave the question of whether it has helped to stamp, the rates of kidnapping in Nigeria. As you know, after that public embarrassing video of dogs being used, a lot of children have been kidnapped, and I've not heard of any dog barking. In fact, they are the bandits, which are called terrorists anyway. They are terrorists, and I'm pleased that Mr. President today actually said that they've decimated Boko Haram in the northeast, and the split over is what we are seeing in the hinterland of all these bandits, who I have always called from the beginning, if you watch my video, as hybrid bandits. Why I call them hybrid bandits is because they are a mixture of Boko Haram or ISWAP or whatever you want to call them, and normal criminals who have just come together and taken advantage of the ungoverned space and more or less gone out to cause havoc in Nigeria. And it's an area that we really, 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 really need to look into. But before we go into that, there is a video because, when you point a finger at people to complain about them and what they do, then you also must be in a position to be able to defend yourself. So I want you to watch this video and tell me what you think.
Moved from 120 to the dollar to 240 to the dollar. The exchange rate has moved from 120 to the dollar to 240 to the dollar. That is Jonathan's record. Jobs have been destroyed. Livelihoods have been destroyed. Over 1 million people have been displaced because of incompetent and corrupt security mismanagement. Meanwhile, during this period, oil prices have been at their all-time high. Trillions have been budgeted for security, but the only thing you see are mansions in Abuja owned by ministers of defense and generals. We know these houses, we know the owners. This is the record of the Jonathan administration in the last 6 years. That's why they don't want to talk about it. So what do they talk about? They move from church to church preaching religious division. They move from town to town preaching ethnic division. They have no record to run on. They take photographs of private estates and claim that the government built the estates. They take photographs of railway bullet trains from Port Harcourt and claim that it's federal government train system. They lie for a living. Do not believe anything they say. Even when they say good morning, check, it is probably evil.
So that's the governor of Kaduna State, El Rufai, talking about another government administration. But now we're in a situation where a state is under siege from kidnappers, and they are kidnapping people left, right, and center. It's not an issue. They are kidnapping people left, right, and center, kidnapping people in schools, kidnapping people on the major way. Oh, you think I'm making it up? I've got I've got videos, to more or less help you to understand exactly what I'm talking about. Let me show you a video of a bishop actually complaining in church. Let me show that. Let me show you that. Listen to this video or watch this video and listen. Like this page, please share this page. Let people know, because I'll be talking about how to avoid kidnapping and adoption very soon. So listen.
Yesterday, while I was preparing for the Christmas, I got a call around 8 o'clock. My vice chancellor, who also happens to be the dean of Dogonkomi Dinari, where the priest was kidnapped, he called me to inform me that unfortunately, one of our priests, Reverend Father Anthony Dawa, who is a parish priest of St. Pius X parish, Kushe Makaranta, had been kidnapped. You know that the kidnappers came, according to what they told me, the kidnappers came around, surrounded the house in the night, and in the process of trying to escape, he ran into them, and then they took him away, along with the catechist's wife. The catechist, lives very close to father's house. And so when the kidnappers surrounded the father's house and, were shooting guns, so father started shouting in the house, calling for help, whatever. And so the catechist's wife actually braved it. She came out. And then I think when she came out, it was around the time also that father had come out. They had already caught father, as I was told. They had tied him, and they also, I think, they also went. Took the catechist's wife and their son, a teenager, So this is the situation, and as you know, today being the 31st of March. One of our priests that was kidnapped, for John Sheokolo Bako, he's actually 2 years and 6 days today since he was kidnapped, and to date, we've no idea, we do not know what has become of him. And now this has come, and it is not this is actually the third time one of our priests, one was kidnapped a couple of years ago, and thankfully he was released after a couple of days in captivity. And so this is what has happened here. Sadly, our priest is in captivity. I called last night to find out from the dean if any contact has been made with those who kidnapped him. And to date, I have not received any information that anybody has claimed responsibility by way of calling to tell us that they have father in their own hands. So this is where we are, sadly. There's no way that this kind of things will be happening anywhere in the world. And people are talking, and the government seems to be, for goodness sake, yesterday, our president was jetting out to go for his medical checkup. And he called a meeting of, we are told he called a meeting of and he gave directives. How many times has this president given directives to his security, those in charge of security? Nothing has happened. I think they are testing the patience of Nigerians. I think you see, there's nothing people can do. When you push people too hard and they are and they touch the wall, they will react. And I hope that people don't react in a way and manner that will plunge us furthermore into chaos. But I'm sure one of the governors is from Zamfara. Just about 2 days ago, I don't remember precisely the governor now, that some people who have claimed they have repented, I think it was either yesterday or the day before yesterday, that even some of those who claim have repented, they were given money, and they have taken the money and gone back and bought guns with them.
So that is from a bishop. Men of God don't lie. and he's talking about the situation in his own area. So when you look at this kind of situation, so that is, we're talking of a man of God talking about armed bandits, surrounding a church premises, a church. Those are forbidden lands for people. Even bandits will tell you when you're a man of God, when they catch you and you say, Jesus love you, or you mentioned Allah, they'll say, okay, this one, let him go. He will pray for us instead. Well, now they're even going there because they know the congregation will have to gather money to release them. And that's the situation where we are in Nigeria. The situation is so bad. I'll be talking about the protest that took place today. Definitely we'll be touching on it and looking at how police have handled it and talking about it. But let's talk more about, as we speak now, let's talk about the situation that we are in now, which is the adoption that is going on, because we're in a very, very very, very hard situation. And these adoptions that we're talking about is not just about bandits that are actually kidnapping people, but even people that are responsible for kidnapping. So watch this video because I want to set the background
The
so
gang's
that you
kidnap
understand
of three
exactly what's
bank
happening now.
managers in Warri Delta State was largely successful because of the active role of Owen Opapa, who had worked as a driver in the bank for over 10 years. Owens provided the group with the full details of their victims, his colleagues. The group's first victim was Dan. Dan was kidnapped on October 5th, 2020. Next was Zua on December 29, 2020. The third victim was Isioma, who was abducted February 11, 2020. From the suspects' confessions, the victims paid between 10 to 20 million naira ransom before regaining their freedom. The kidnap enterprise for these suspects was so rewarding that they had started building their personal houses in choice areas in Delta State before the crack team of the Police Intelligence Response Team took them by surprise on February 28, 2021.
I was a former staff of Zenith Bank. The three kidnaps that happened, I was the person that brought the job. And I brought the idea to him that see girl will fit a kidnap for Zenith Bank, will fit a get money. Let's say it's okay. So call ask me the person name, call see interest and go your house, call see him. Call say kidnap this person at least 10 million office come my side. Mr. Dan, Olodo College branch. So then I'd already chosen the place and one go take come out. So they call kidnapper, I don't know where they carry and go. My own is just that, may they pay them, may they give me my own money. So because it happened, they call pay, they call give me my own share of the money. Warri branch, Zenith Bank. And our name now Zoa. So we call plan that one. Now he call bring boys who they take do that work. So we call still carry and come out. I don't still know where they carry and go. My own is that I don't give them the work. My own just to make them bring my own share of the money. Contract close. The last one, they will do that work. And me and this my friend here, I go. So cost him one dollar. For the cost him kidnapper too. The name now Ishoma. A full branch. A kidnapper for along airport road.
Both Lawrence Kewe, Dominic Victor Ovo alias Papa, are said to be militant generals who were involved in a bank robbery in 2012 and 2014. The duo were convicted and sentenced accordingly. But upon their return to freedom, they devised a new type of criminality.
I brought the gun, AK-47 and a pop action. So we use in kidnapping that man. So after the man is in a bank at Olodo College branch. So after that, I kept the man also, and the ransom was paid.
As the man they come along, I don't know the name of the area for road, but I say Warri. So we block him face to face for the road. No, not with gun, with the car. So after we block him, then we come down with the gun. So got drag him from in your motor for our motor. So the guns there our hand, which is the pump action and the AK-47. So after we come out, I can hand over and get Kere call driver, go a place, go keep. So before when that one will come the next day, begin make the call. before the money got paid in dollars. So when they bring the money is about 11 million, 15, 150,000, be 50,000 naira. So that one are the ransom of that man. The second one a woman. So the woman they drive, they come for evening. So now so we still double cross our motor, carry and come out for the motor, move our motor. So I call driver and come out, carry go my place, my own place. After 4 days, so the money they got pay the money in dollars, which is about 10 point something million, but we say now 15 million. So we got chair down one. The last one so now woman. So the woman they drive out for money. So for they along the road for the worry so and they drive out for money. So we got drive follow them. So now we block them. Now we carry and come out for a motor, good for our motor. I will drive and come out, go my place. Then that money, we say na 20 million we need. So when they bring the money not complete for the 20 million. It's 15 million, 200,000 for Nigeria currency. So we got share the money.
As the police work to conclude investigation and prosecute the suspects, the incident emphasizes
This is serious issues. These are serious issues. If you're watching me right now, I'm showing these videos, these clips, not because I enjoy showing, how people are suffering, but I just want you to understand how criminality are being entrenched in Nigeria. So if you're watching me right now, I want you to like this page. I want you to share this page because we're going to be talking more about school security because these are children now. These are young kids that are vulnerable. And you could see how these guys, even people that your drivers, you need to check them, vet them. Don't just take just anybody because, okay, you are going to pay them less or more. It's going to cost you a lot of money because it's better to pay better and know who you are charging, who you have around you and you could trust, than to pay them small money and then they have you adopted and they are working with kidnappers and they know where you keep your money and they know the kind of deal you've done and they'll say, you know what, this person has money, just go after them, beat them, cut their ear, cut their nose, and at the end of the day they will deliver. So I have a bit of a problem with this, and what I want to do really is that I want to talk to you about school security. So if you're watching me right now, I want you to like this page, I want you to share this page, I want you to tell your friends back home, call people and say Temitope is live, is going to be talking about school security. So let me actually bring out, let me talk about school security. My book, I wrote this book, school security, Nigerian school security. You could actually see it, you could get it from Amazon. And I thought, you know what, when you're talking to people, it's better to actually talk from something that you've written so that people can understand exactly what you are talking about. So you could get a copy of my book. It's called, Nigerian School Security, Strategic Roadmap Against Boko Haram School Attack. Now, when I wrote this book, oh God, I wrote it in 2018, so you can imagine we're talking about over 4 years and it's loaded. It's loaded. You need to get a copy of this book. If you are watching me right now, you need to get a copy of this book right now. But before I actually talk about the book, let me share a video of what is happening right now, in Nigeria, in Lagos. Right now, as we speak, people are protesting and they are being arrested. I want you to see the way they are being handled.
Yeah, and that's it. One protester has been apprehended right there. He's been taken away. Our camera has been blocked and we've been told to stop recording these shots. We have to move out of sight now.
Please move.
But we're still recording. Thomas, keep rolling.
To a safe distance.
Keep rolling. All right, more vehicles are coming. Step out of the way.
All right, we're asking you
you to keep rolling, but please do it safely, Ben. Move over, move away. If you can, keep rolling, but please do it safely.
Have run into the communities so that they can run away. Now, the young man that's been taken away is the one who spoke to us in the morning. He's the one in black. Thomas, that young man who's been taken away presently is the first guy who spoke to us this morning, and the police have picked him up.
And Bernard, when you spoke
this
with
is
him,
another one as well. So
when you spoke
now
with him
we are being asked to
earlier,
identify ourselves with our ID cards so that they can differentiate between journalists and protesters. That's what's happening on ground right now.
So again, you see, the challenge we have in Nigeria, you will see the way those police are handling protesters. God help me, man. You protest in Nigeria, you are being handled with a gun. What about if there's an accidental, discharge? What do you do at that point? You're going to be in serious issues. And these police, they hold people, they handle them, they slap them. They're not allowed to assault people. Those guys, I've not seen them carrying gun or beating the police. And when you see these things happening, that's why people, complain. Look at the protests, in Abuja. And I just want you to listen and watch the protests in Abuja.
Yeah, the soldiers have come out to block to stand against us because we block the road. That no motor will pass. That no motor will pass here today. So that's why we are protesting. My name is Prince Ezodina. I'm reporting from Abuja now. As kidnappers come last night, kidnapped people, about 40 people. Most of them are my neighbors, and they took them away last night, and this is the fourth time they are coming, and nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Government is not doing anything. Government is not doing anything. So that's why the masses come out this morning to protest, because our life is important. No life again in Abuja here. Kidnappers are surrendered Abuja. They are surrendered Abuja. The soldiers have come out now, but they will not come out when the kidnappers come out. When kidnappers come out, they will not come out. But when people come to protest, they will come out with their gun. And they will call them, they will not come. And that is why people have come out now in masses to protest.
What that commenter, the person that was doing the recording was talking about is very important. When you call on the police and the police do not come, when you protest, they bring out their guns, and when they want to arrest you, they don't arrest you peacefully. They arrest you like you saw with the way the guy was being manhandled. In fact, as we speak, today is Democracy Day. I know that there were protests in Lagos, and the way they were being handled in Lagos also is brutal. So you just need to listen.
The police have started shooting tear gas. This is Lagos, Ojota to be precise. But the protesters are still here. Wow. The decision has become chaotic here in Ojota.
Thank God for for journalist citizens. They are the ones that will go there and take people like me. I will not get involved in those kind of foolish certain things that you don't get yourself involved in. Of course, protest is important. And some people have to protest in order for us to get to where we are. But you have to check where you're actually getting involved in protest. So today, what I want to talk about is school security. And just like I said, I'll be talking from my book. But I've got a PowerPoint slide that I believe I can share with you, because I believe that it will really be quite helpful. So let me share this PowerPoint slide, because I think it will help Just a minute. Let me just get the PowerPoint slide. Where are you? Where are you? Come on. Just a minute, please. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can share this one actually because I think yeah that yeah. Oh. Just 1 minute. I think this PowerPoint. Yeah. Let me share this PowerPoint slide. Yeah. Okay. Now I believe you can see the PowerPoint slide. So, yeah. Now, today I want to. I believe it is the best way to start this discussion. Go back and to the beginning of the screen, brother. Go back to the beginning of the screen. Go back to the beginning. Okay. So, of course, we're going to be talking about let's talk about these bandits. Who are they really? I believe they're not normal bandits. I believe they're hybrids. They're not pure terrorists because they've not actually, they are terrorists. Believe you me, they are terrorists because they've made their intention clear. They're terrorizing the community. They are causing, panic. But they're hybrid. They are a bit of bandit and a bit of terrorists that have actually escaped from the northeast, where there's a lot of havoc. In terms of the fight, Nigerians fight against Boko Haram. So that is where these people have come from. So they're not your normal bandit or kidnappers. They are hybrid. They're a fusion of normal bandits and terrorists, who have come together, to cause havoc to the Nigerian community. And of course, there are leaders who have felt that these people represent them or they can speak for them. We're not hearing anything from Shegumi again on this matter. But all he says is, oh, not all of them are like that. I can't understand what he means by not all of them are like that. We know that the ones in Kasina that were paid, they were giving money, actually went back. And you could see a definition of what a bandit is. A bandit is a robber, an outlaw, belonging to a gang, and typically they operate in an isolated area or lawless areas. So what they pick is they pick areas that are isolated, and that's why in Borno and other places now they are moving schools into the city so that it will be difficult for bandits to be able to go after them. But bandits are even operating the Islamia school that was where children were adopted and they've not yet been released. It was done in daylight time around 4:30 in the afternoon, and nobody challenged them. And I know that in Kebbi State, in Kebbi State, after adopting and after killing people in the state in a village in Kebbi State, they gather all their chickens and asked the women to cook for them. It took them 4 hours to cook all the chickens for them, and not one security officer came. Security was available to them. So who are kidnappers? You could see them. Those are the kind of weapons, the kind of things they do, drugs that they take, and someone who takes a person away illegally by force, usually in order to demand money in exchange for releasing them. That is who is a bandit. And I'll be going into my book to talk about the different types of the different types of kidnappers because they all have different motive. We know that kidnappers now are even kidnapping people to harvest their organs. So that is why you have to be very, very careful about what you do and where you do. And we've seen a lot of examples of kidnappers. You could see that boy, they were released, that was from the forestry school, the Chibok girls. We know that about 100 of them have not yet been reported, but some have not yet been returned. But we know some of them have died. Some of them have felt that decided that they are no longer coming back. The Kakala boys are the ones at the bottom, and we know that the ones on that side were the ones in Katsina. I think yeah, Niger is it Niger State, yeah, where they were adopted, the girls from the school. So you see, there's a lot of adoption that is going on, and they're not just picking one or two people again. That one is normal. Those ones are left for the level for the local ones, local champions. The big ones they come in 200 bikes with all their guns and everything to adopt people. So how can we stop this nonsensical things going on? The government, the president have made it clear shoot aside. Just shoot aside. The government said we'll shoot aside anybody carrying AK-45. They said they are not going to be paying ransom. But the Cardinal governor said he's not going to be paying ransom. You heard him the way he was talking before the election, and after election, he can't deliver. Because the president himself, during the interview with Arise TV, a brilliant interview, he said, I told governors, even governors of the Southwest that came to me, when you were being elected, you made a promise. So El-Rufai, when you were being elected, you made a promise. And you need to keep to your promise to keep the people safe. And the president said, do it locally. Get the local people. In fact, we heard that in Kanamoda, that's a place I know very well. As a Kegai's chief, I used to go to Kanamoda for Kegai's generation, which is all this wine drinkers when I was there, still with them. We used to dance and it was fun when we were in school. And I used to go to Kanamoda. We used to travel at night. I remember traveling at night from Kanamoda. We went to Zaria. We were not afraid of the kidnappers on the road or anything. Nothing like that in those days. But now you dare not even travel around 7 o'clock at night. And they're talking about granting amnesty, which is what Chief Gumi was Sheikh Gumi was calling for. But I feel there are better ways we could deal with it. I think we need to value victims. There must be, if somebody have been adopted and returned back, there must be legislation, and I'm talking of state legislation, federal legislation, that gives them money for loss of time, injury to feeling. I think if you do that, people will feel, you know what, if we are being adopted, we are being valued. And in order not to pay that money, security agencies will want to work hard. I also feel, and this is my opinion, and I think legislators need to work on it. I think there must be a legislation in place that says that any kidnapper that is being captured and convicted in a court, in a reputable court, those kidnappers should forfeit all their earnings and anything they have in bank. Where those earnings are traced to family members who might have helped them launder that money, those things should be taken from the family members. Similar to what was happening in the East, where not only were they just, being convicted, but houses that they built were being destroyed. I will not go that far, but I would say take those houses from them. The same way you are taking houses from people that are involved in corruption, take those houses from them and make sure that those things are sold and the money are given to victims. If we could put in such a law, it will really, really help. And if there are anybody that are interested, if there's any legislators out there that are interested in creating such a law, get in touch. We will draft it for you. I worked in civil service, so I know about drafting, and I'll be more than happy to help in drafting such a law where we value victims, where victims are being compensated, and where proceeds from crime are actually being distributed back to victims. I also think it's important to know the citizen. Let us know the citizen. There are people out there, that need to be known. We need to know who is in our community. They need to register in the community. There must be a way. Just don't let people come into your community and you don't know who they are. I think we need to know our neighbors. We need to know the people around us, and we need to have a form of identification. It's important. Let's remove politics now. Let's deal with it. Some people have said the reason why in Nigeria they don't want to introduce all these ID cards is because by the time you introduce ID cards and you look at the population of people that have it, you can see that in some places they're inflating the number of people there. But this is aside now. We're talking of national security now. We need people. Anybody over the age of 18 should have an ID card, should have something that you could use to identify them, and you should be able to know. And when you are emulating people, have their fingerprint so that when people are being emulated, take their fingerprint and see if they are on their database and make sure that database shows that they are diseased, they'll be taken out. Help the helpless. There are so many people in Nigeria who are graduates that need job, people who don't have any qualification that need help. Let's help them. Let's give them a job. You can't go and do a job 9 to 5 and then you will come out and say you want to start getting involved in all this criminality. Of course, we know that there are people that are very dishonest, like that man that worked in the bank as a driver before and is the one now giving details of bankers for them to arrest or know their houses. Those are the kind of things that we need to try and deal with. So, what are the strategic ways that we could things that we could put in place, or ways that we could use to stop this banditry and you know deal with this problem in Nigeria? I've mentioned some of them now, but I'll be going into my book, in order for us to really talk about it, because I feel there is need now for us to go back and start talking about things that need to be done in Nigeria. So if you're watching me right now, I want you to like this page. I want you to share this page. Okay. Now, yeah, I know that some people, the former the defense minister to the president have said that people should defend themselves. But how do you defend yourself against uh, 200 bandits? How much weapon will you have in your house? Even when the army come, they will not be able to defend it because they only carry a little bit of ammunition. So that is the problem. These guys have the resources. When they are coming, they come loaded, so they can override anything that you have. So I would say that when you know these bandits are coming, stay clear away from them, but have enough mechanism or protective measures in place to give you the space to be able to disappear away from these people, because these people, once you are adopted, you are in trouble, and that's the reason why we need to deal with these people. As just like my brother has said, Mr. John, these guys are pure terrorists. They are hybrid terrorists. They are people that do not care, and we need to remove them from the state. The ones that need to be rehabilitated need to be rehabilitated. The ones that don't want to be rehabilitated, we need to remove them. If you're watching me right now, I want you to like this page. I want to share this page, and I'm talking from my book, Nigerian School Security. Yeah, you can find it on Amazon. I've put the link there. You can go and buy it. So let me first talk about what can I bring out from this book that I think people should. I talked about 10 questions police leadership must ask. So the police leadership, the present IG, IG Baba, there are 10 questions I feel he must ask his command, his commissioners, when they're looking at school security. I've not had them asking those questions. Maybe you can help me. If any of those questions that I've asked you think are not realistic, ask me. I'll be more than happy to explain myself. So the first question here, I said, as the police command carried out a security risk impact assessment, there must be a security risk impact assessment that is carried out. The way security in schools in Lagos need to be dealt with is completely different from the way it will be dealt with in Sokoto, or the way it will be dealt with in Zaria, or the way it will be dealt with in my village in Odiomu, or the way it will be dealt with in Umuaya, or the way it will be dealt with in Port Harcourt. Completely different. So every one of them must have a security risk impact assessment carried out, and to identify what kind of risk are people facing. Is it just risk for pedophiles who just want to adopt children and have sexual carnal knowledge of them, or is it just robbers that just want to rob the children when they're coming to school, or is it just kidnappers coming into the school to pick them up? There are different security risks, and those different risks have different mitigating circumstances that need to be put in place. So those are the things that need to be done. So then, in the first instance, there need to be a security risk impact assessment that need to be done. The second thing is that based on the impact assessment, then you need to have a designated senior officer assigned responsible for school security in that jurisdiction. So when, say, I'll give you an example. Once a risk assessment have been done for the whole of Abia State, Abia or Umuaya or Wari or Oweri, there should be a senior officer that should be in charge of school security in that area, and then start working with the schools, create a template to say these are the kind of things you need to do. Go to the schools and look at it and say these are 10 things that this school must have. If you don't have them, you need to either shut down or talk to the parents association and say these are the challenges we have. We need to put these things in place. And those are the kind of things, because if you don't have this kind of discussion, we'll continue to have those embarrassing situations where they say, oh, 200 students have been adopted, and when they show the school, you see that the school don't have school, they don't even have door, their parameter fences is not there, those kind of things, and it's quite embarrassing in the country where we say we have given out 200 billion for school education to 1 point something trillion, and yet we are not seeing the effect of it on the ground. So if you're watching me right now, I want you to like this page, I want you to share this page, I want you to tell your friends that I'm live talking about school security, and I'm talking for my book, Nigerian School Security, and I want you to tell me where you're watching from. So after setting up, getting a designated officer involved. Number three, as a school command, as the police command set up a school security committee in the area, there should be a school security committee. Let them talk about security. Let them talk about security. How are we doing? Do we have particular challenges? Is it that we have letters from bandits saying they're coming to a particular school? What have we done about it? What kind of intelligence are we gathering? Let every school have a security officer, and let them be involved in a WhatsApp group. Create a WhatsApp group and talk about security issues that affect your school and share intelligence. So those are the kind of things that you need to have. You need to also have an early warning system. Number five, have an early warning system, in the school. Have an alarm. If it's a boarding school, have an alarm, so that when you know that people have come in the middle of the night when they're not supposed to be there, blow the alarm, so that all the students will know that it's not just normal people, it's not the normal security walking around the perimeter, it is bandits. So those ones that want to hide will hide, those ones that have a route to escape will escape. And by the time all the neighbors are hearing the siren, everybody is getting themselves also secured, and the bandits will normally not want to stay around for that, because they don't know what measures you have. They don't know whether the army are coming. They don't know whether it's the police. They don't know whether it's the civil defense that is coming. Number six, the police establishment should provide guidelines and protocol for the management of security in the respective vicinity. So just like I said, once you've done your audit, you know the audit of the school, you know what you need to have in the school, then they need to put guidelines. This is how you handle this issue. This is how this issue is to be handled. If you get my book, all those issues are there. So, and the link is right there. Send it to your family back home. Send it to them. Let them know, let them know that, yes, I'm talking about it right now, and these are the issues that we need to talk about. Number seven, does the police command provide sufficient resources to activate an incident room or command when this incident happens? All the incidents that have happened so far, we've not had, not in one situation, that the police command and control was activated immediately the incident happened. That is a disgrace on Nigerian police, that when an incident happens, they should have their command center activated, people going out to go and look into issues. We see families saying the police are reluctant. In fact, they are even helping you to negotiate with the bandit on how much they will collect, or they will tell you, you know what, just pay the bandit and get your family member back. Number nine, I say the police leadership should employ the service of media consultants to train designated police officers on how to convey information to the public on the incident. Not just come, because people are distressed. So come in, talk to them in a language, talk in a media language. So go to media people, get media people, let them talk to you and train you. We have all these media, all these police media, whatever they call them. But even when they talk, you ask, did this one even go to, did he go to journalist school, or does he have any qualification? Because they speak in a way that is not impressive, does not encourage confidence in the community and people that are listening to them. And number 10, last but not the least, does the police have regular monthly or quarterly meeting to discuss community tension issue and strategic redeployment of police assets to address those challenges? So it's not just about the police meeting with community and saying, oh, we are here for you, we're on top of the issue. What I said in my book is that they must be able to redeploy assets to meet community needs. And that is when you empower community, to be able to deal with the issue of school security. So if there's a school security issue, police should be meeting them, redeploying, police officers redeploying their assets to areas of interest that family members have highlighted. And I also talked in my book, I also talked about, it's an old copy of my book, and that's why it's a bit rusty. I talked about what are the motive, what are the things that are motivating these kidnappers. I talked about 4 different things that motivate them. Some of them are motivated by material issues, like money. Some of them are motivated by religious reasons. And that's the reason why you see people like Shigumi going there and saying, "Okay, I'm talking to them from a religious perspective." We've had those ones motivated from that say they are motivated from an Islamic perspective, but we've not seen any from a Christian. So I know that pastors will stand up and say, which Jesus did not say armed robbers should go and steal. So, and I don't think the Islam also says that. There are those that are motivated by political reasons, and that's why you see governors coming out to say, you know what, we have a problem. These are political motivated kidnapping or adoption. It's some politicians that maliciously, bankrolling these people to kidnap and using ransom money, storing ransom money for their political campaign come 2023. There have been that. There are those that are motivated, that are doing it for moral, they have moral reasons for doing it. And there is no way you could justify adopting people because your people are being suffering or things like that. That is not, there's no way you can justify that. And one of the things that we need to also look at is, how do we, there are different impacts that adoption have on people. I talked about the cognitive, impact, impaired memories. People that have been adopted have impaired memory and concentration. They are confused and disoriented. They have flashbacks. And government should not just look at all these people that have been adopted. Apart from checking them physically, there is no psychological support for them to more or less take them through the trauma they've gone through. Stay in the bush. Not eating any food for 2-3 days. It's as if we don't care, and those kind of things must be changed. There is emotional impact also, the shock, numbness, fear, anxiety, helplessness. Those are the kind of issues. There's social withdrawal. People can withdraw socially. I talked about extended periods of captivity may also lead to learned helplessness, in which individuals come to believe that no matter what they do to improve their circumstances, nothing is effective. There's the International Classification of Mental and Behavioral Disorder called ICD-10, also recognized as enduring personality change after a catastrophic experience as a possible chronic outcome after a hostage incident. These are all things in my book. You need to read this book, man. You need to go and get a copy. We talk about the condition characterized by hostage and mistrust attitude, social withdrawal. We talk about feeling of emptiness. So these are the kind of things that happen to victims, and we must be able to deal with it. Then there are things I talked about. I talked about 22 ways in which countermeasures that could be put in place to stop kidnapping in schools, and I'm going to mention 5 of it before I sign out for today. If you want, you want to really, I will encourage you to get a copy of my book, Nigerian School Security. You could see it. I wrote the book, is on Amazon. Go and get a copy. If you like it, like this page, let me know where you're watching from. I really will implore you to get a copy. Buy it for, even if you don't need it. If you're in Europe, you don't need it. Buy it for your family member. Buy it for people, your friends. Go and get a copy. It's just about, I think, about £10. Just get it. I know you will be blessed by it. It will really help you. So I talked about 22 ways. I'm going to talk about 5 of them right now. And if you want to know more, you can go into my book. It talks about step-by-step approach to dealing with school security. I talked about school, what is school security, everything, how to stop it, how to deal with it, how to be able to speak to people about it, the kind of letters that you can write to school, everything is in there. So the first counter-terrorism measures that should be put in place in schools, knowing that these guys are terrorists. Prepare school by training teachers. None of the teachers where this adoption have happened in their school have actually come up to say, none of them have actually come up to say that they have been trained. I can see Mr. John. Mr. John is a rich man and he's telling me to send him a free copy. In fact, Mr. John, I challenge you to buy 10 copies of this book and give it to all your followers, all the people watching us. So because you're a rich man, you should buy 10 copies. Support your brother. So, as I was saying, none of those teachers have actually come out to say we have been trained in how to keep our people safe, what measures to put in place during a terrorist attack or during a bandit attack. None of them have talked about it. And that is an indictment of the police, an indictment of the school institution, and an indictment of government. In hotspot areas, this number 2, in hotspot areas, school management must encourage personnel to maintain heightened awareness of suspicious activities and to report them. Now, hotspot areas, and you could hear people when after the aftermath of an adoption, they say, "Oh, they come to my window," and I was like, "Are they school authority? Are they are they police? Are they the way they are wearing? What are they wearing?" And I realized that at the last minute they actually banned it. How can you realize at the last minute when you are a hotspot area where adoption is taking place on a daily basis? Because of the adoption that is taking place, you see, even our 10-year-old knows. If you call a 10-year-old and say, which are the states where adoption is taking place, they'll tell you Kaduna, Katsina, Niger State, Kaduna State. They will mention some states, about 5 states. So how can any teacher in that state be telling us that, oh, they just saw them, they didn't know? You are the one that shut down the school at 10 o'clock and call light out, and then some people are walking around in the school and you are saying, oh, you thought there are soldiers coming in. How can a soldier come to your school at that time of the day? What kind of common sense is that? It doesn't make sense. So in a heightened environment, in an area of heightened environment, management should have a discussion, and it shows you that management is not discussing with the school. All teachers, we know we're in a situation where there's kidnapping that is rampant now. If you see anybody, please call the principal so that you can call the DPO or call the police so that they can be there. So that when there's an adoption going on or it happened and the principal is called on TV to talk, you can say, yes, I was called at 12:01. I was called at 15 minutes past 3 when some unknown people came to the school. And immediately I was called, I activated the security protocol of my school. And immediately I sent a text message to all parents to say, this is happening at the school right now. And then I sent the DPO, I sent the police to say, the military to say, this is happening, we need help, SOS. None of them have said that. None of them have said that. And that shows you that they are not putting anything in place. That's number 2. Number 3, provide special attention to perimeter security and access control issues. I talked about access control, which is who can come into the school at any time. Perimeter fencing is very important. We've seen that most of those schools don't have effective perimeter fencing. That is important. There should be environmental design that makes it difficult for anybody to come into a school and take children. If you don't know that school, how should you know where people are kept? So those are the kind of things. You could even have a panic room, and this is where people like me as an expert can help you, explain things to you on how to improve things. And if you're a parent right now and you have parents association, I'm more than happy to come and speak to your parents association about school safety. If you are a lecturer in a school, in a university, and you need if you click on the Amazon, I put the Amazon there, Amazon link. If you click on it, it tells you the price of the book. Actually, because I don't know it offhand, to be honest. So That's it. The number 4, you should have trained custodians, people that maintain the school, that do routine inspection of the school to make sure that all those security measures that you put in place are there. And number 5, review your staff and supervision plans. I'm not going to explain that. I think that is self-explanatory. You should review your staffing and supervision plan. You know, who is the teacher in charge? Who is in charge of security? Put those things in place. And just like I said, you could get a copy of my book, Nigerian School Security. It's called Strategic Roadmap Against Boko Haram Activities. I think at this point I've said enough, because it's just ridiculous that this adoption is going on and nobody is putting in place measures to deal with it. People like me have written a book over 3 years ago. I've been talking about this since 2015, and people are not putting in place. You could get a copy of this book. You could get a copy of this book for £10 or £15. That will save you from paying 200 million that those people are asking for. You can invite me to speak to your people. I will not charge you 200 million. But it saves you. You know that now you've put me in place. I've spoken to the people in charge. They know what to do, and they could put enough barrier against those kidnappers so that by the time they say they are marching your children out of the school, security forces are there. You put measures in place. You sign MOU. Listen, and I'm giving you this for free of charge. If you're a private school, if you buy a van for the DPO in your area, which will cost maybe 1.5 million, it's even better, because you know that 1.5 million, that van is there, and anytime there is an issue, they can't come around and tell you, that van is not available. They can't, because you bought the van for them for school patrol, and you could say, this van, we're buying it for you to be able to come to our school, to be able to roam about. You can use it for the community, yes, but it's for our school. And at any time, they can come to your school. You can buy their motorbikes. Buy 3 motorbikes for the DPO and say, this DPO, we're buying 3 motorbikes. Use it for patrolling our school and coming around our school. And if incident happen, they can come on it to come and do survey and know what is happening and be able to even trace the kidnappers. So there are different initiatives. That is what I do for a living. So you can call me. My details are there. Send me emails. I'm more than happy to assist you, to assist your school. Come to us that's my web. You can come to my website. You can come to my website. Check my website out, www.trans.org, traz.org. You can send me an email. My email is there. I'm more than happy to help you. Talk to your people, talk to your school, and move things forward. Let me sign out at this point, but please stay safe. And I wish that this will not be that we will not have an opportunity. We will not be talking from this perspective in the future, but rather we'll be talking from, a situation where, your people are safe, are free. I don't think it's right that children should be adopted. I don't think children should be adopted. I think we should stop all these children being adopted by putting in appropriate measure. Now I want to sign off. Thank you so much for listening to me. I really appreciate you. If you are watching me right now, I want you to share this page, like this page. Let me know when you need me. I'm more than happy to help you. Until we meet again, my name is Temitope Olodo. I'm a counterterrorism expert, author and president of African Security Forum, and it's a pleasure coming to you this afternoon. Have a great day, and God bless you.
Sahara Productions. Though they use Allah, want to buy the key people. Allah is great, they keep message. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is great, they keep message. Though they use Allah, want to buy the key people. Allah is great, they keep message. Go around them, they keep people. Allah is great, they keep message. Salam alaikum, alaikum wassalam. Salam alaikum, say na peace now we want. But no be Muslim, it's not a Christian. And we're there for Bible, make we kill ourselves. Salam alaikum, alaikum, wasalami. Salam alaikum, say na peace, na we want. God no be Christian, it's not a Muslim. And we're there for Torah, make we pump ourselves. They come from Shah, they want on with terrorists. Come from Niger, they want on with terrorists. Every day by day, them are bombing our schools, killing our youth. Say we know they happy. No, they use Allah, what could they keep people? Allah is great, you know they keep us saying. Boko Haram, them they keep people. Allah is great, you know they keep us saying. No, they use Allah, what